I absolutely love the writing of Genshin Impact's female characters. I cannot tell you how much I adore the writing of strong female characters with compelling character. As someone that absolutely loves lore, I will say this right now. There is nothing that I love more than a company, even though it is for profit. I mean, it's fine. Genshin Impact is a gacha game, so profit is definitely still their first priority, and the best way to do profit is making compelling characters. But if they are able to represent that properly, then good on them. And I genuinely think that MiHoYo has done an amazing job in balancing out female and male characters. The writing of female characters in Genshin Impact is actually one of the most compelling, not only because most of the characters here are strong and independent, but also because they are not toxic feminism. One thing that I notice about literature and other kinds of media is that there seems to be a very toxic perspective when it comes to femininity. You see that most people think that being the cool female protagonist kind of feminism, like screw masculinity, screw the male society, I guess, is just some tomboy with short hair that likes picking fights, that doesn't like dresses, that absolutely hates dresses, hates pink, hates other girls, emphasis on hates other girls, and all the other things like that. They just say, oh, I'm not like other girls. That is such bad writing. And if there's anything that Genshin Impact has shown me is that you do not need those characters to make compelling female characters. A lot of media right now portray strong female characters as some form of template, some form of necessity in their media so that they can seem progressive. And that's just really pathetic, in all honesty. So I'm glad that Genshin Impact has not fallen into that pit. A good example of this is Ganyu. Ganyu is one of the most feminine characters that you will ever meet in this entirety of the story. She is gentle, she is kind, she is soft-spoken, but when she puts her foot down, she puts her foot down. And that is a very compelling character. She has her motivations, she has her goals, she has her backstory. She doesn't want to feel left out. She doesn't want to feel as though she is a burden to other people, but at the same time, she also doesn't feel like she fits into society. She is soft-spoken, but she is strong-willed, and that's what makes her a great character, and that's what makes her a great female representation. You can tell me all you want that, oh, she looks up to Zhao, who is this emo character, a trope, ek. But no, you can see that she does want to prove herself, not only to him, but also to the other Adepti, that she is worthy of Rex Lapis's contract with her. You can see that even though she is this soft-spoken, you can still make a compelling and strong character. Another good example of this is Sucrose. Sucrose is being mischaracterized as just a Hinata Hyuga figure. That's not true. In all of her character stories, she is an independent individual who just happens to be a fan of Albedo. If anything, she is the reason why Albedo hasn't done anything stupid. She is one of the anchors that Albedo has to make sure that he doesn't break the limitations of alchemy. In his own character trailer, she was the one that soft-spokenly said, "We are currently breaking the rules of alchemy, and I think what you're doing is kind of wrong." You can see that she is a very assertive character, even though her disposition is quite unique. That's a strong character. If there's anything that Genshin Impact does very well, it's strong women in political positions, which I will be honest with you, I was completely shocked with how well they actually handle that. Because normally, you don't see this. Not in 3 countries, even. You see Jean as the acting grandmaster of Mondstadt. You see Ningguang, Keqing, and Ganyu as the head political figures of Liyue. And you see Baal as the immortal shogun of Inazuma. Those are 3 strong character figures in political positions. That's amazing. That's amazing representation. And they weren't watered down or written down or just like some background information that's like, oh, yeah, our president is female, let's move on with the story. No, they actually played very intricate roles into their stories, and you can see why they are the political figures of said country. Jean is a very responsible and though overworked and stressed out grandmaster, she is amazing at her job and everyone looks up to her, even those that you know are quite antisocial. Someone like Eula or Diluc. Ningguang is a great political figure, and you saw in the story just how much sacrifice she is willing to make for Liyue. The Jade Chamber was her pride and joy because she came from an impoverished lifestyle, and you saw that sacrifice was something that's very important to her. We don't know much about Baal. Well, I don't know much about Baal's full story. I haven't played INAZUMA, but you can immediately see why she is a strong figure. And not just that, other figures in Genshin Impact, not even just politically, but also in other positions of power. Kamisato Ayaka, Kokomi, Eula, they're all in high positions. They aren't weak by any means, and they are all renowned. Hu Tao is also a really good example of this. All I'm saying is that to make strong, compelling characters, you do not need to find a cardboard cutout of a personality. You do not need to find any kind of discrimination, and that's the thing. You do not need a character that rejects femininity. You do not need a character that wants to berate other girls for being feminine either. That's why I really love this game. Each character was put with care and love, and you can feel it from their character stories, from their dialogue, and the fact that every time that there's a new patch, there is a chance that their character voice lines will be revamped, will be added on, and you can see the care that was put into each and every character. That includes the female characters. The number of female characters in a show should not be indicative of any kind of representation. You can have one really well-written female character overshadow just 40 random people in the cast. And honestly, I'm glad that despite having such a large cast, Genshin doesn't do that, because each character has 5 stories, has distinct voice lines, and distinct playstyles. So you don't actually have to worry about something like that. I really wish that more media would actually be able to do this kind of thing, because as much as everyone preaches for progression, we're going the wrong way. We are absolutely going the wrong way. We are evolving with backwards. And that's just sad. I was watching something, I Am Not Starfire, and you already know that that kind of blew up, and that made me think, why are we so against the thought of hot female characters? Like, I find Eula hot. The only reason I rolled for her was because she's really hot. We have to appreciate that. And we have to appreciate that aesthetically, characters that are hot, or revealing, or sexual, do not equate to bad writing. Lisa is a good example of this. She is one of the smartest characters in the entirety of Genshin, and her intelligence is renowned by everyone. But she is a sexual character. We all need to just calm down. Okay? We need to calm down. A lot of characters in Genshin Impact are so compelling and so fun to talk about. And I'm really happy that the representation of the female community in Genshin is not forgotten. In a game filled with husbandos as well, there's actually a lot more female characters. I'm looking at it right now. The reason why I'm not even rolling for characters in INAZUMA is because there's so many female characters. And I'm currently just waiting for the Fatui Harbingers. But we have to understand that making a character is the priority. Whenever you make a story, you have to make sure that you're not just following a checklist. You're not just following a guide. You're making a proper human being that people can relate to. My ramble went on a little too far, but I just really wanted to share this because I am someone that absolutely loves lore, and people do not give this franchise enough credit, okay? Not enough credit, I swear, not enough credit. For a free game, not enough credit. You can call it a gacha game all you want, but goddamn, this characterization and character writing has been the best writing that I've seen in a good while. And that's just not me being biased because I like anime boys. I'm being honest. The writing in Genshin Impact is phenomenal in terms of their characterization. A lot of characters fall into the standard cookie cutouts, Like, Sucrose is a shy anime type kind of character, Zhao is the emo kind of character, Albedo is like that crackhead professor energy that you feel as though would probably drug you, maybe. But they grow, and that's what makes it great. That's what makes this game compelling. They grow with every patch. You get more lines from the Serenity Teapot, you get more lines from their battles, you get more story about them because the game isn't over. It's a very new experience, and I'm really just happy that Baal has a Booba sword.